Well, first up, we have Kathleen Davenport, and she's going to talk to us about workers' compensation. So let's give Kathleen a warm Greater Dayton area welcome.
Sorry. Stay away from that side, is that what that's telling me? So I'll try to, can everybody hear me? Yes. So I'm Kathleen Davenport. I'm a business consultant with the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. And a lot of times people get scared by that name, the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. You know, we do handle workers' compensation, as our name would imply, but we do so much more than just pay out claims and collect premiums. So we're actually going through a name change, so hopefully in the next year or so, you'll know us by something different that encompasses everything that we do from a safety perspective, from a wellness perspective, from an employee perspective. So today, I'm from the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. Every couple of years, when we do the handheld, definitely was not the user, I'm sure. So every couple of years I come and present to this group, and so the next couple of years I might have a different agency name. So that's yet to be determined. What I wanted to do is to give you kind of some basics about workers' compensation, and especially for you guys who work in the real estate investing industry. It really is very important to understand who needs coverage, who doesn't, what we do, and how things operate. So that's my goal today. So what is workers' compensation? Well, it's insurance, just like any other insurance. There it is. So back in 1913, you know it's going to be a long presentation when you start out with 1913, but back in 1913, a lot of the states started implementing workers' compensation laws. So each state have different laws pertaining to workers' compensation. We'll talk about some of that here in a little bit. But in Ohio, we're somewhat unique because we're monopolistic, and we'll talk about that too. But back in 1913, there was employers that were going out of business because their employees were suing them because of an injury that occurred during work. So one of the things that all the states started, the workers' compensation reforms, each state looks a little bit different as to who administers it, the name of their agency that administers it, whether it's private or monopolistic. So they all look a little bit different, but most of the laws are pretty similar. So they're not all identical, and there are some nuances from state to state, but they're all pretty similar, and they're usually addressing some of the same things. So when there was a trade-off back when implementing the workers' compensation system to where the state insurance fund, workers' compensation, is now the exclusive remedy for workplace injuries. So an employee cannot sue an employer outside the workers' compensation system. So their benefits are defined if they're injured in the workplace per the law, but they cannot sue you outside unless there's like an intentional tort, which is very, very rare. So in exchange, the injured worker is compensated for all the medical associated with that workplace injury, and also any compensation if they lose time off work, etc. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, how the insurance works as far as the coverage. And as I said, it started back in 1913 with most of the states implementing these. And then another important piece of this is that it's no fault. So we get this question a lot. Employers want to,
Greater Dayton RIA is a great source of information for real estate investors. You can learn what you need to do to succeed. You can learn the different opportunities that there are in the marketplace, and you can meet a lot of people that know about this from their own experience.
It's a fantastic organization because you can network with more seasoned investors. You meet all kinds of different vendors each time, insurance companies, title companies. There's always a different group of people here. And even though I've been involved in real estate since '99, every time I come to a meeting I learn something different. You could also find contractors here. It's just a really great way to network.
The benefits that I've gotten from Virginia over the years is being able to tap into a pool of knowledge from experienced investors, experienced speakers that allow me to overcome any obstacles I might have from what I'm not familiar with.
In GE we learned that this is a team sport, and being a landlord requires quite a few people to help. In GE we found our accountant, attorney, property manager, realtor who furnishes the leads for the properties, and I believe the appraisers.
In 2010 to invest. The whole team was there. I had a property manager, realtors who had deals, and now I have 4 houses that are all turnkey solutions. I've invested in private LLCs. I didn't bought a note. So by joining an organization like GD REIA, you too can learn how to be a good investor.
And we are an approved vendor with GD REIA. We've been with you guys about 4 or 5 years now, and we love networking with the members, and we're here to help. So anything that they need help with, you can find us here every meeting and ask us whatever questions you need to.
You guys have a location?